Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you what the hyperextension or 45-degree hyperextension is and whether or not you should use it in your program. Chances are, if you've been to a gym, you've probably seen one of these machines before and you're probably wondering what they're for, or you're a bit more advanced than that and you want to know how to progress it up a notch from body weight. So today, hopefully, you'll get a good grasp on how to do this, you'll execute it beautifully, and it will help a ton. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So 45-degree hyperextension sometimes is used for back, but predominantly used for glutes and hamstrings. If you are lacking that strength in your posterior chain, or the back, your glutes, your hamstrings, this is brilliant to put in your program, possibly at the end when you've done your bigger movements. Before I show you how to work this machine, I want you to know what we're working with here and how to just think about the rep as you're initiating and executing. So we want to predominantly work the glutes, right? So when we're on this hyperextension now, that is the main target. For this to happen, or for this to occur, for the glute to flex and extend, we need to think about bending that hip. So think about this angle here that I'm showing you now. This angle needs to shorten, okay? On the contrast, when we're trying to extend, when we're trying to get up, we want this to open up, okay? So when this opens up, this flexes. When this flexes, this extends, okay? They work in agonist and antagonist pairs, glute versus the psoas muscle. Also, the erectors do play a part in this movement if you do come up from a certain height. So, main three areas I want to think about is hamstrings, glutes, and your erectors. The first demo, just hamstrings and glutes. So when setting up your hyperextension, you want to make sure, first and foremost, you have it to your height. At times, there's a dial here to adjust up and down. Now for me, I quite like being on the short end, so I'm going to set mine to the bottom. I want my top of my femur just to sit on the top of this pad, just so I can get a decent stretch when I go down. My feet want to be 45 degrees turned out to hit a little bit more lateral hamstring and glute. I'm going to go ahead and hunch my upper back. When you hunch your upper back, you shut off your erectors, and you just allow just for the glutes to take all that brunt, okay? I quite like getting a further stretch, so instead of coming towards the feet in this approach, I quite like the idea of coming away. Again, for me, just hit that deeper stretching connection to my hamstrings. Should you feel your erectors, so your back or your QL, your lower back, if you feel this, chances are you're coming a little bit too high and using your back to support or lift your body up. So again, tuck the chin, really round the upper back, come up halfway and drive your hips into the pad. A common error you see a lot on this is the height of the machine is all wrong. You can't get that stretch and you're no choice but to use your back. So just think first, start from here. Is your feet in the right place? Great, move on. Is the hips in the right place, the pad? Great, move on. Is your upper back and chin tucked in and rounded? Yes, move on. So great, you got that down to a T, you've done a set of body weight, and you think, it's okay, it's easy. Let's start to progress this exercise now. I'm going to show you 2 ways to progress the hyperextension. First one, use a plate. When you're using the plate on this, start with the plate on the floor first. I like to prop the plate on the floor, and then get in position. I'm going to hold the plate close to my chest, just to add some more resistance. Second is my favorite, bands. I'm using a band on a hyperextension. I'm going to show you guys a proper setup. If your hyperextension does not have the pegs that I have, I'm going to show you the best way to utilize this. And for that, I'm going to turn this around. So using a band on a hyperextension just allows that top of that rep just to be a little bit more intense. This is a 25-pound band, I think. You can use ones in your gym with eco resistance on. I'd start with the lightest one first, just because this does get a little bit difficult. So if your hyperextension does have bands on like shown, all you want to do is wrap around your chest, like so. Get in your normal position, and simply loop the pegs around the bottom, and you're set. Still tuck your chin in, bring it up, and squeeze through the rep. All right, brilliant connection with the glutes here. However, if your gym does not have this fancy piece of kit, use 2 dumbbells to anchor your band down. Using 2 dumbbells to anchor your dumbbell down, Same again, get in position, loop the band around your upper back, up and squeeze. Depends on where you put your dumbbells, depends on how difficult that will be. So there you have it, guys, a brilliant staple in anyone's program at the end of their session maybe. If you're training glutes, if you're training heavy deadlifts, even heavy squats, this is a brilliant one to add in to your program for that extra bit of movement. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. If you like that video, let me know in the comments. If you want any movement explaining, then again, drop a comment below. But until next time, see you soon.